Welcome to History in Flames. Empires rise and fall, the past comes alive in fire and ash. Subscribe and relive the stories that shaped the world. Burma, 1944. The world was burning on all sides. Normandy, Italy, the Eastern Front, and headlines across the globe screamed the names of battles that would become legends. But deep in the jungles of Southeast Asia, far from cameras, far from newspapers and glory, another war raged. A war swallowed by vines, rain, and silence. A war history nearly forgot. Burma was not a battlefield, it was an enemy. Soldiers who came here discovered quickly that the danger didn't only wear a uniform. The jungle itself attacked. Heat that smothered lungs, rain that never stopped, insects that tore flesh, diseases that killed without firing a shot. Every hill was steep, every river deep, every trail a trap. Men crossed the border, thinking they understood war. Burma taught them they didn't understand survival. By 1944, entire divisions had been swallowed by green walls of bamboo and mud. Lasted weeks. Boots rotted off feet. Maps became useless. The forest shifted every day. Roads vanished overnight. And when soldiers slept, it was not on the ground. It was in the mud, because there was nowhere else to lie. Men woke with leeches on their legs, spiders under their shirts, and fevers burning through their bones. In Burma, the enemy was everywhere and nowhere hidden in caves. Dug into hillsides, appearing suddenly over ridges as ghost-like silhouettes in the mist. Every step forward felt like a step deeper into a trap. But the Allies answered with shadows of their own. The Chindits long-range penetration groups, trained to survive where no one else could. Operating behind Japanese lines for months, supplied only by airdrops. They cut roads, ambushed convoys, and vanished back into the green. They became myths men who walked through hell and learned to breathe its air. 1944 was the year Burma exploded. The Japanese launched one of the most daring offensives of the war, pushing toward India, aiming to shatter British rule and ignite revolt on the subcontinent. The battles of Imphal and Kohima became some of the most brutal fighting of the entire conflict. Villages turned into fortresses, hills became killing grounds. The fighting was so close that soldiers said, you could smell the enemy before you saw him. Men fought hand to hand in the rain, in mud-filled trenches, often with only bayonets or shovels. But something changed in 1944. For the first time, the Japanese advance slowed. Their supply lines snapped. Their soldiers, once unstoppable, began to starve. Imphal and Kohima held, and the great offensive broke. The tide turned in the jungle, and with it the fate of Southeast Asia. Victory in Burma didn't look like the movies. There were no triumphal marches, no tanks rolling through cities. Instead, there were men limping out of the jungle, skeletal from disease. Uniforms rotted to threads, staring at the world as if they weren't sure it was real. Some had been isolated for months. Some had seen entire units wiped out without a single newspaper ever mentioning their names. When the war ended, soldiers from Europe and the Pacific returned to cheering crowds. But those who fought in Burma returned to silence. No grand parades, no books with their pictures, no speeches. Their war was too far away, too muddy, too invisible for the world to remember. But they remembered. They remembered the rain, the silence, the faces of friends swallowed by the jungle and never seen again. Burma marked them in ways no medal ever could. Today, historians call Burma the Forgotten Front. But those who survived never forgot. And in the ruins of old camps and rusted helmets and moss-covered trenches, the echoes of their struggles still linger, waiting for someone to listen. Burma, 1944. A war within a war. A battlefield that tried to erase itself. Story worth telling because silence should never win. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe for more. Share your thoughts below.